Happy New Year, everybody. Good to see you all. Happy, healthy, beautiful, high vibrational 2025 to all of us. Lots of joy, happiness, abundance. This year is going to be the best year of our life.
Today is a Christmas too for Eastern Orthodox. Merry
And
Christmas.
Merry Christmas and Orthodox Christian people too. Merry Christmas. Yeah. So celebration continues today. How's everybody? Rachel, how you doing?
I'm getting over a bit of a cold, but I'm good.
A lot of people are sick. A lot of people got sick during Christmas time, New Year's Eve.
Yeah, I went to a big love fest in Portland and we were all all over each other, so, and we partied pretty hard, so it was totally worth it. And now just being
A little
slow,
payback time.
drinking my tea with my Manuka honey.
That's it. You'll
Yeah.
be fine. You're gonna bounce back in a couple of days.
It was
In a
good. It was
couple.
actually a very restorative trip, so
That's good. It's
yeah.
important. It is important.
Haven't
So
seen you guys in a while. How was Italy?
Italy was absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. We actually had follow-up Zoom meeting right after Italy. One of the Zoom meetings where people were talking about the experiences. It was magical. Because the place isn't a magical place. The place is in a high vibrational itself. Saturnia itself has a very deep history and has a very interesting energy to it. It does, especially for those who are sensitive. But then on top of that, if you have that energy, plus you have this sorgente, which is beautiful waters, and then on top of that, you're doing Kundalini yoga and you're moving this Kundalini up constantly, 5 days in a row, and you're doing deep meditation. It was interesting to watch how they progressed, how they changed. First night, first day when everybody arrived, nobody knows anyone, so they're kind of looking it around and like uncomfortable. You know how it is. And I started the breath work, the relaxation and trauma release breath work, and everybody was stiff because they were kind of like, I don't want to show my emotions. When I say scream, they go, "Eh." So, okay.
Because I wasn't there.
No, because everybody was, yeah, maybe if you were there, you wouldn't
I'm
give a
kidding,
shit.
but
You would
I
do
go
it. You
full
would
out.
do it. Exactly. So day one, we started. I mean, it was day two. And the way it's structured is you work like one day you work on two chakras. Two chakras one day, two chakras, and basically by the end of fifth day, you finish all the chakras. And we worked day one, day two, day three. And then on the last day, we do the same breath work with the same group. And we did it. And boy, was it different. It was day and night. First of all, everybody was engaged. Everybody was working on themselves, didn't give a shit about what is happening around them. Lots of release. And then the most interesting thing, when we finished the breath work, when the coronal, we work on the coronal and coronal is open. If you remember, I leave you and you just breathe and you connect with the higher power. So they did. And I gave them like 15 minutes, no rush. And then I go, now slowly, we're going to start coming back in our bodies. And I'm trying to guide them. And they're fucking out. They called in trance, all of them. There was like a real catatonic trance, which happens when you do lots of Kundalini yoga. They get into trance and they all reach that. When they came out of this, they were like, what was that? They felt like it was like they were drugged. It was all on your own pharmacy that you have in your body, your own psychedelics that you have in your body. It was very powerful, very, very powerful. And this time we're going in March, and I think it's going to be a bigger group. And I think it's going to be even better because we have very powerful musicians coming with us. Some people who work with voice, like, singing and going into trance through the voice, going into trance through the dance. So we're going to be pushing all these modalities. So 5 days, it will be just having fun with energies of your own Kundalini. Yeah. So it's amazing, amazing, amazing. And the hotel, by the way, is amazing. It's a really nice hotel. Service was amazing. They treated us like we were king and queens. Yeah. So, but now, new year, new us. Yeah, I actually, with my immune system, even I felt a little bit under the weather. And I had a cough for 24 hours, like cough. It didn't manifest in anything bad, but I felt that it wasn't me, that there's something sitting in my body, and my body was just fighting and fighting. And then within 24 hours, I was able to fight it off. And I usually don't even, like, everybody's sick around me. I never get sick. So it's definitely in the air. Definitely. Okay. Any thoughts? Anything? Anyone wants to talk about anything, or you want me to say something? I was
Well, I was
any
thinking,
question?
I guess, have we been together a year? I know I joined a little bit later.
Oh, we started in January, yeah.
Yeah. So when do we kind of, I mean, I have a lot of stuff to kind of catch up on, but how does it work? Like, when does it end? And like, do we always have access to the links? And
You will have access when you sign up when March, not March. You sign up May-ish,
it might have been
June,
March.
March. I know it was before your surgery.
Yeah. But I
Yeah.
was with you for some time. Yeah.
Yeah. So it will be exactly 12 months. And if you'd like to renew it, you can renew it. And by the way, we're working on changing the structure now, changing the structure of concierge. Um, I probably will be focusing more on not the medical management portion of it, but on a more spiritual. I really love spiritual part of it. I'm really falling in love with this, and medical. I still love it, but it's kind of like, I think it's just like I feel like I get more tickle from spiritual. Yeah, and I also I'm working on the sexual health, intimate health, but not like sexual health. Let's have sex type of health, but like what we spoke about, working on your really like your core, your kundalini to connect with another person on a tantric level, on a cosmic level. So that's what my focus probably will be. So I'm kind of like right now we're trying to figure out what's the best business model. We're still gonna have it. It's just we don't know what shape it's gonna be. So that's why we're keeping you guys for now, those who sign up later, as a concierge. So you have all your rights, whatever you need. But then once we start the program, it probably will change the shape. How, we don't know yet. Yeah. But we're still going to talk about the whole entire human body. You know, we're going to talk about vitamins. We're going to talk about minerals and food and nutrition and sports and oxygen. You have to. You can't ignore that.
It's tough because now, you have all this. I already had a nice bag of knowledge and now I have another bag of knowledge. And then you see your friends with chronic conditions and you try to help them and they don't want to listen and it's challenging.
It is challenging, but this is when you have to learn how. This is real compassion, by the way. The real compassion is to show them the way and see them in the light that it already happened.
Mm,
That's it. It already happened. It doesn't matter when it's going to happen. It can happen in a week. It can happen in 7 years. It can happen in 70 years. It doesn't really matter. Everybody has their own path. You're just someone who probably opened the door, and even if they didn't pay attention, which you think they didn't pay attention, they did subconsciously. If someone else would say that, or if they're going to come across with some other programs, they would be like, oh, I remember Rachel said that. And maybe
mm,
then they pay attention and that program will help them.
mm.
It may not be Rachel who directly helped them, but Rachel helped them
Right.
initially. You
Maybe I planted
initiate.
the seed. Yeah.
Exactly. You're someone who planted the seed and then they took it from there. And there's
Right.
some people who just, they're not going to do it, and that's okay. You just have to learn how to accept.
Yeah.
And that's the real compassion. And I know when you learn something, like I say, bag of knowledge, you so want to share it with someone because it's so delicious. It's so good. It's so delicious. How can you not? And imagine me, like right now, a majority of people are awakening now and aware. When I was doing this in 2008, 2009, I was alone. I was completely alone. People thought that I'm definitely losing my mind, that I'm going legit cuckoo, you know? Um, but it's just, if you're infinite and they infinite, what's your rush?
Mm.
Just be like Buddha-like. And by doing so, you healing yourself, you're not wasting your precious prana, your precious energy, you're not wasting it. Because every time when we try to prove our point, we're wasting our cortisol, our adrenal, solar plexus, life force, life-giving energy. You see? That's not good. Oh, that's how I learned. I learned how to just accept. If they hear, if they have ears, they're gonna hear. If they don't, they don't.
Yeah.
Your job is to emit light and hold the light. That's it. Be an example of that light beaming
Mm.
being. And then maybe that's what happened to me. Years later, my friends who used to call me crazy, they would come and ask me for advice. Like, how do you do that? It will come, you'll see. Not all of them, but majority will. You just stay the course.
It was cute in Portland. My friend's house has a hot tub and a cold plunge. And I've been taking the cold showers. So I just boop right in the whole body, right in the cold. And they were like, "How'd you do that?" I was like,
That's what we do.
"That's what we do."
And you're like,
No big deal.
not a big deal.
Yeah, it was great.
Exactly.
Yeah. Very cool.
Hmm.
Did anyone follow you, Rachel? Or were you the only crazy one?
No, they did, but they would go like they were afraid to like stick their chest in because that's when you really feel it on your heart,
Which
Uh,
is the most important. It has to be on your
exactly.
chest and on your throat.
Yeah. So, some
Mhm.
people did, some people didn't, but yeah, it was sweet. It was cute.
Yeah, some people are really crazy. I have a friend, not this cold, but a couple of weeks ago when it was so cold in New York, he like it was like 19 degrees and he jumps in the ocean, in the cold ocean at 19 degrees. I'm crazy, but I'm not that crazy. You see, there's some extremes too, extremists, spiritual extremists.
Yeah.
Yeah. There is actually a very interesting story about his name was, I think, Kondraty Ivanov, the guy who was born in 1890 something, 97, 96 in Russia. And he was one of those troublemakers in the village. He was always getting in the fights, drinking, and doing all sorts of things. Okay. Womanizer, like you name it. Anything that bad, it was him. And one day, at the age of 30, 35, he developed something on his skin that started growing. So apparently, it probably was a cancer, like a melanoma, like because the way he described them later. And he was basically laying in his bed and dying. And he decided just to die quicker. It was very cold in Russia. He decided, I'm just going to go and bury myself in the snow and die. And he buried himself in the snow and spent the whole entire night, or I don't know how many hours. He got very cold, but he didn't die. So he got pissed. He came home, he lay down, he fell asleep. Next morning, he said, I'm definitely going to go, and this time I'm going to die. He did it again. But what he noticed after the first time, he started feeling better and better and better. And then the thing that was on his arm disappeared, and he's gotten better. And then he noticed that he doesn't want to drink anymore. He doesn't want to get into fights anymore. And this womanizer, crazy person turns into this saint. He starts walking around. He starts preaching cold. He starts walking barefoot, barely no clothes, like just a little shorts or something. In Russia, in Siberia, like one of those coldest places in Russia. And people thought that he's just gone crazy. And the funny part is he was running around like this. It was not Siberia. It was territory of Ukraine and Russia, in Donbass territory. So when World War II broke out and Germans came and occupied the region, they were laughing at him. Soldiers were laughing at him because they didn't take him. Soviet army didn't take him because they put him diagnosis of schizophrenia. So they didn't take him, and he was just running around like this village fool, running around naked in the snow, and they were laughing. And then the officer, one of the top officers, called him and said, "What are you doing here?" And he tried to explain that cold is good, and preaching like, God is good, cold is good, health, love, light, this and that. And he goes, "Oh, okay, well, let's see." And it was really, really cold Russian night, winter night, where they just left him outside, bare, completely naked, barefoot, naked, left him overnight. And when they came to check on him in the morning, the steam was coming out of his body. He was just singing and dancing and running around like nothing happened. So they let them be. They let him be. Then World War II finishes. Stalin, KGB, also didn't like his act. So they did the same thing. They would just take him and put him in inhumane conditions, in the cold, naked, and he would survive. So, and he was a big proponent of cold. And he was saying that if you want to live happy and healthy life, number one, you have to love cold. You have to be in the cold showers, cold plunges, cold. Number two, you have to fast. And number three, you have to move. And number four, you must say hi to every human being that you come across. Like if you walk on the street, imagine walking in the street in New York, barefoot, running around and saying hi, naked, saying hi to everyone. Of course, everybody would think that you're crazy. But that was his school. So if you join his school, you had to follow these 4 principles. So what?
What's his name?
Ivanov is his last name. Kondraty. Olga, do you know the guy? Kondraty Ivanov, I think it was.
No,
Yeah,
I never heard that story, but I'm
yes,
sure
yes.
there is one.
Actually, he was the first who started promoting it. And the way he was talking about all these things, he was talking like a yogi. And this is the interesting thing, that this guy, he's from the village, from the Russian remote village. He didn't have any access to internet, any access to any books. He could barely read. And he got enlightened just by doing these 4 principles.
How long should you fast for?
Well, it's just, that's what he said, fast. But we spoke about fasting. You could be fasting 24 hours, you could be fasting 7 days. It really doesn't matter. But what he was talking about then, in the beginning of last century, today we call it revolutionary. It's not really revolutionary. But what's the most important, what's the most amazing thing is, this guy, he got this knowledge as a download from cosmos. That's the most amazing. How did he know that? Like today, you could say that I downloaded, but you probably downloaded from your YouTube videos or your computers. You know what I mean? This guy didn't have access to anything. That was a legit download. A real miracle.
Yeah.
The real yogi. Yeah. Yeah.
Now, how did the
Is that
yogis?
Porfiri? I found something
Porfiri.
online. Porfiri Ivanov.
Porfiri Ivanov. Yes.
Yeah.
Crazy white long hair.
Russian
long beard.
yogi. I found him online. Yeah.
Yeah. Drop the link. Let everybody read about this crazy guy and his
Yeah.
his story. How Nazis wanted to kill him. Communist
Mm.
KGB wanted to kill him. It didn't happen.
Yeah, there is some kind of an article from 2020 about him, so maybe most recent one. But
Oh yeah.
yeah, I'll it's in English, so I haven't
it's in
read it.
Eng-
I haven't read it, but hopefully it's the same one. But I will.
What?
I'll drop the link in the chat.
Yeah.
There's the picture
So
of him.
that's him. That's him. That's him. Yep.
Oh, that's
That
great.
that is him.
There was some of that in Tolstoy, not to that extent, but there was
Yeah. Tolstoy
Tol
used to walk around barefoot. Yeah, he had that.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. But this one was like real enlightened being.
Mm.
And if you listen to his voice, his recordings, I watched his like documentaries. The way he talks, it's just amazing. And this person never read the book, but all he did is just he wrote his own notes, and then from these notes, then Russians took it and then created a program after his death, of course.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah, he healed many, many, many people. Many people. He had healing, abilities. Superhuman. But another human that showed what's possible. What's that? What's that sound? Another human showed what's possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Rachel, who knows? Maybe you next.
Well, it's cool. I mean, I learned, I've been a Reiki master for a long time, and I always loved kind of tapping into this side of things. And so I started revisiting it more and offering meditation and, or like a guided practice at different events. And it's been a nice different form of my self-expression. So yeah, who knows what 2025 is going to bring.
You know what they say, for the next 6 months, all of us will go through tremendous transformations astrologically. The whole world.
Oh.
Yeah.
We as humanity, we all gonna go through transformation
Mm.
on the collective level and on a personal level. And sometimes in June of 2025, June, July, you probably won't recognize yourself.
Oh, that's my birthday.
Mm.
I'm
You
actually
won't
having
recognize.
a reading tomorrow. I have someone I work with who gives me a 12-month reading.
Oh,
for the-
good.
Yeah,
Mm.
I'm looking forward to it.
Nice. It's a good time to start. Yes, you start from January. At least you have the whole map.
Yeah.
Mm.
And this is how you create. This is when you have this map, you have the weather pattern for the whole entire year, cosmic weather pattern. And then you say, okay, I'm going to pedal over here and I'm going to slow down over here. That's how you use astrology. Yeah. Amazing. It's great to have people, like-minded people, and have conversations like this, isn't it? Love it.
I'm doing the breath work after this too. I can put the link in the.
Yeah.
She made it free now, so
Good.
yeah. Let's see.
Let's see.
What time is the breathwork?
It starts at 9.
Okay, so you can just
Oh.
send the
right.
link, and whoever wants to jump in, guys, and do it.
Yeah, it's pretty powerful stuff. Okay.
Who is that? Who's doing it?
Her name is Sands Symes. She's kind of like
Oh, I've heard of her.
she's great. She's kind of,
A hypnotist?
I wouldn't call her a hypnotist. She calls this ancestral breath work, and I would call her more of like a spiritual, intuitive guide.
Facilitator.
Yeah, she does a lot of stuff. Very The modern medicine woman, shamanic practitioner.
Okay.
Yeah, she does medicine journeys too, if that's your thing.
Mm.
Let's see, does that work? I think that works.
Zoom login.
Yeah. So you just click that link that I just sent.
Good stuff.
But don't click it because it'll get you out of this meeting.
Okay. Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
copy
yeah.
it.
Do you have a link for a website?
Yeah, it's just it's like sandscience.com. She does it on the new moon. Oh.
Good stuff. Amazing. Any other questions, comments?
Well, I have some practical down to earth questions. If I
Sure.
take a cold plunge, I'm hearing some people say you go in the sauna before but not after. Others say you can go in the sauna after. So does
So
it
this is,
matter?
I'll tell you how Russian bath principles are in the Russian bath. So in the Russian bath, you go in, you get that steam, and the temperature could be anything between 120 to 140.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to be 160, 180. It doesn't have to be that high. Why? Because when in the Russian bath, you have these rocks and you put the water, you splash the water on the rocks and it starts steaming. You take that steam and you have these veniks, which is, how do you call them? They're not brooms, but it's a, I don't know how to
Okay.
call them in English, but you know those things like, and
Yeah, yeah.
like whisks. And then they take those and they just fan it, and they fan it from the top. And if you're sitting, you could feel the heat coming in.
Mm-hmm.
So you will be able to increase the temperature from 120, all of a sudden you're increasing it to 140
Yeah.
without increasing the heat itself. So by doing so and using all these, Venics, by stimulating your body and all that, you really create lots of heat in your body.
Mm-hmm.
And then you come out, you go in a cold plunge or you pour water on yourself or cold shower, whatever it is. And then there is a place, there's a like an entrance, almost like a waiting area or sitting area before you enter the actual sauna in the bath, in the Russian bath. So sauna is where you get your steaming and bathing. And then there is a sitting area where you could just sit and it's like a resting area.
Mm-hmm.
And then the cold plunge and everything happens most of the time outside. Okay.
I'm
So you
wondering.
get,
Mhm.
yes. So you get that, and then you go into this area, which is not hot, but it's not cold. And you have to sit there and you have to wait until, because when you sit, your body, even if you're in a normal temperature room, you could see steam coming out of your body.
This is after the cold plunge or before?
Yes, after.
After.
So you go in a steam, you steam yourself, you jump in a cold plunge, you come out, you sit in that sitting, the resting area, and you watch your body, and the steam is coming out. So you
Ooh.
sit there until the steam stop coming out, until you stop seeing the steam.
Hmm.
Once the steam is down, you go back in and you start doing it again. And you keep doing, like, you can do 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rounds if you want to.
But the progression is hot to cold.
Hot, cold, and then
Me,
rest, neutral, rest, hot, cold, neutral, rest. That's how it is.
I'm just wondering how I should do it in my gym. We have a sauna that heats
Mm-hmm.
up. The temperature in the sauna is about 180. Dry
Okay.
heat, no dry
Dry heat.
heat. And then
What
next
you should
door is
do,
a cold
yes.
plunge.
Yeah, so what you should do before you get into that sauna, you should take a regular shower, just a regular
Mm,
shower, and be wet.
Yes.
Drink a lot of water, okay? So you kind of simulating this steam that is done in
Mm-hmm.
Russian bath. So you go in already wet. And this is when you're going to create this heating effect faster, sweating
Mm-hmm.
effect faster. And then you come out and you can go in a cold shower or a cold plunge, and then you have to come out, wait, and if you want to go back, you'll go back. If it's done, you're done.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was waiting to ask you before I did it.
yeah, yeah. You always have to listen to your body, because the body says no, you don't push, especially with sauna.
Oh, I love the sauna. I am terrified of cold.
And it
I'm
feels so
terri
good though. It
I
feels
am
so
terri
good.
I am terrified of cold water. That's just the very idea of cold water makes me so naturally I have to do. The more I'm scared
You
of it, the
you
more I
know what
have
you
to
do?
do it.
You know what you do when you're in sauna, when you're about to go, and you know you have to go to cold shower or jump in the plunge, you breathe, you do the breath work.
Mm,
Like
yeah.
circular breaths works, just prepare your body for that. And when you enter, it's not as shocking to your body.
Mm,
And
yeah.
then the more you do it, the more your body, your brain would be like, okay, fine. Until now, I've been doing this cold showers, I don't know how many years now. It still says, no, I don't want to do it. It still, my mind still fights with me. And I have to tell myself, no, we're fucking doing it. Let's go.
Well, yeah.
It's just mind.
I
Don't
think
listen to.
for me, a cold plunge where I go numb is if I'm going to have cold water, I want to do it all
Mhm.
numbingly cold.
But that's the beauty of it when it's numb. Yeah, that's the best feeling. I don't like cool. Cool, it's irritating to me. Like
Mm-hmm.
cool shower when it's not numbing cold, when it's not icy
Yeah,
cold. It's
yeah,
irritating. I don't like it.
yeah.
Yeah, it has to be icy cold.
Well,
Mhm.
then it's got to be for me. It would have to be a plunge,
Okay.
numbing cold. Yeah.
Let us know next time how we went.
That's
Mm.
About the sauna experience, I wanna share about Stimology Institute. I don't know, maybe they already appeared in New York. So it's like also a separate direction in the whole sauna experience. And the guy, they're originally from Russia. They built up many years ago a sauna in Burning Man. And after that, they build up it in San Francisco, London, Tbilisi, somewhere else. They are building in LA and in New York as well. So maybe it's already opened. We just moved to Florida, and I don't know. Maybe that's already exist, and they really do it as a journey, as you described. But they like a guide you through this process, and you are not like afraid of cold or anything else,
Yeah.
because after, let's say, all preparation meditation, you're already in and you just follow without analyzing
mm-hmm.
what is going on, like cold or hot. You
Mm-hmm.
just surrender to them and just let it go and release
Mm-hmm.
what is no longer serves you.
Yes. Well, Russian bath it's a ceremony. It's a whole ceremony. And
Mm-hmm.
it meant to be, you meant to sit in the bath for like 5 hours, 6 hours. You
Mm-hmm.
go to a bath and there's a person, a healer who sits in the bath, and that person guides you through this for hours.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's an amazing thing. I do it myself. I have a little sauna in the mountains, and I was doing my thing, my ritual. My friend called me, and then 6 hours later he called me again. I'm like, you still in the sauna? I go,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, because this is exactly what you do. You lay down, you come in. It's really surreal when you go, and real professional banshik, which is healer, does that to you. You come in, you lay down, you breathe all this eucalyptus. The temperature is not very hot. It's like 140, 150, very comfortable. And then by creating steam, they increase the temperature or they decrease the temperature, and they chant, those songs, ancient songs, and
Mhm.
just go with all these, herbs that they have, and really puts you in that trance, really puts you in a trance. And then you're ready, you get up, you go and you plunge, you sit down, you drink some hot tea in the resting area. And then a couple of minutes later, you go back again, and same thing. And imagine doing it for 5, 6 hours. Amazing healing experience. Amazing healing
Mm.
experience. Yeah. So I'm assuming that they're probably doing this. If the guy is Russian, he's probably doing this tradition.
In Costa Rica also they have sweat lodge.
Yes, well, they have sweat lodges in Costa Rica. It's a Native American thing. Yeah.
Mhm.
The Russian baths that have been on East 10th Street forever, are they the real deal?
They commercialized in the
Yes.
commercial settings. They increase, just like in your gym, they increase the temperature up to 180. So you would come in, you wouldn't spend that much time. They could do this, but then you can't handle it. You have to leave. So then the higher the temperature, the less tolerance, the more clients they can pass
Mhm.
through. So it became commercialized. But I'm
Yeah.
sure if you will approach someone and say, I want a private session, I want a real healing private session, and if it's a real deal healer, if
Mhm.
they know what they're doing, you will receive it. You
Well,
will receive it.
I was just wondering, this place has been there forever. It's like a New York landmark.
Yes, yes.
Mm.
Just like a Russian tea room.
Yeah.
Yeah. But is it really that borscht that they serve? Is it really a borscht? You know, when I tried first time, like, is it from the can? To me, it felt like a canned soup. You know what I mean? But it's an
Mhm.
experience. You go there and you have this Russian experience thing.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And in the gym, I'll have a gym experience.
In the gym, you're gonna have a gym experience. Yep. Yeah.
There.
It's very particular. In the Russian banya, you have to burn birch trees, and birch is a symbol of reincarnation, rejuvenation, rebirth, like repair, like everything that it's redone.
Mhm.
That's birch. So traditionally, you burn a birch tree.
Mhm.
What are the leaves that they beat you with?
Leaves are different, so it depends what you're trying to beat you with. That's good.
Mhm.
It's amazing
So
that we are discussing this in Russian Orthodox. What a coincidence.
I'm telling you, you see, so it's time. So let's just do it. Happy Russian Orthodox Christmas, which is tonight. But yeah, depends on. By the way they make those veniks, there's a specific time when they actually allowed to cut the tree to make veniks. There is a specific holidays, Russian Orthodox holidays in the summertime when they do it. Like if you see just leaves, you can't just go and cut them. You have to cut them between this time, this holiday to this holiday. And it's typically usually between July till August. It's like there's like a 30 days when you actually supposed to cut them. And if you cut in between, you're not going to have a good results. And the way you test, first of all, the dates, and the second, you have to grab the leaf and pull it and see if the leaf is still holding. That's great. That it's time. Okay. If the leaf is like ripped halfway, it's not ready. But if the whole leaf came out, it's too late.
Mhm.
You see, so there's always little tips that they used,
Mhm.
and then you pick, and the oak tree branches and leaves, they use mostly to fan this hot air, because the hot air rises when you put the steam. So you use this hot air and you fan it. Okay, so the oak tree is mostly for that. Oak tree is also good for cooling body, cooling the body. If you're doing this and then someone feels like overheated, they they put it in the cold water and just quickly put it on your head, on your chest, and you start feeling better immediately. Now, they use juniper or some other pine tree like um, plants. That is mostly used not to beat, but then to cover your head. Like when you're in sauna, your head should be covered. Your head should be cool. Your feet should be hot. Not only in sauna, but especially in sauna when you're getting healing. Heat should be, I mean, feet should be hot, and head should be cool. So when you go in, you have to wear either some kind of, hat or something that covers your
And
hair.
keeps your and soaked in cold water.
Not necessarily. For some reason, it just keeps it cool. The pine tree keeps it cool.
Oh.
Yeah. So when you lay down, they just put, like, you're laying down and they put this, they cover you, and you feel pretty good. It keeps you cool. And here they just
Mm.
beating you. So the head is pretty cool, and here it's just all heat up and invigorating and amazing feeling. Okay. A birch tree. Birch tree is used also for healing, mostly for lymphatic drainage. When you have like a swelling, when you have like some bad feelings, like when you negative, the birch tree is used for that too. And there's actually saying, like, when we say go to hell, like when someone is negative, you tell them go to hell. In Russian, it's actually, they say go to banya. Иди в баню. Go to banya, meaning that you're so negative, you just have to go and wash yourself because you're so fucking negative. So those things, those Vedics, they magical. You
The
try,
word,
huh?
sorry. Banya, isn't that also Spanish for bath?
Banyo, bath, yes, but it's a Vedic word. It's a Vedic word for bath. And then from Vedas, which Russians are Vedas, Hindus are Vedas, Persians are Vedas. So then it probably traveled in the Spanish territories, and this is probably how they was adapted. That word, banya.
Mm.
Yeah. So interesting, huh?
Yeah.
And cultures like Finn culture also, it stays similar because they're neighbors.
Mhm.
So that's
Yeah.
something in that particular area, some kind of tribes that live there, those tribes came up with this tradition.
Well,
I
Yeah.
was surprised how Russian, like ancient Russian, like Slovak language,
Mhm.
is similar with Sanskrit, that they have much in common. I like seriously.
wow.
Because it's Vedic. It's Vedic.
Mhm.
I
And after
didn't know
Kirill
that.
and Methody created like alphabet, they just destroyed all this knowledge.
Yes.
Oh.
So when Christianity came, it
Mhm.
destroyed Vedic knowledge. Yes. Same thing in Persia. Persia was Vedic country, and then Islam came and destroyed it completely. First, it was Alexander the Great who destroyed the knowledge, Vedic knowledge of Persia, Great Persia, and then Islam.
Persia. What is it?
Persia, Persia,
Mhm.
Persia. It was an interesting civilization that was before us that had so much knowledge. And we think that we're discovering something new. We're just remembering.
Yeah.
Mhm. All right. So I guess Merry Christmas, Merry Orthodox Christmas for those who celebrate. And with this beautiful note, let's go to Banya. Thank you very much, guys.
Bye-bye.
We'll see you next week. Do some breath
Bye-bye.
work. Bye.
Mhm.